Alright, so yes, the community right now is hard at work testing out Update 7 on that public test server, and from that arises some critical concerns about key features that are going to be added into Update 7. We have some brand new responses from the dev team. Thankfully, we're going to dive into more about the prestige system because there's some major concerns there as well, but some really cool rewards which were spotted on the public test realm, which I absolutely have to highlight. Plus, we also have some new dev responses about, yes, that Space Marine 3 announcement. You guys have been very, very concerned that, maybe, just maybe, Space Marine 2 would stop receiving support. Well, that's not going to be the case. We're going to dive into what the dev team had to say about that. And yes, as always, I'm going to go over your top comments, but you know what? Check this out right here. So yeah, if you want to play with me today, you can now join my clan, the Night Wonders, and we could build crazy team combinations together, because right now I need some help conquering these clan bosses because there's amazing awards waiting on the other side of the victory screen here. And if you also join me today by following that link in that description below or scanning that QR code on the screen, I'm going to be giving you an amazing legendary attack champion, Krato Fox Hunter, for free, and by level 15, you'll also obtain the epic support champion Ugo, one of the best healers in Raid. And don't forget, I'm giving you a ton of starter resources as well. And hold up, once you're done with that initial tutorial, head on over to promo codes, enter Supreme6, and guess who's waiting for you in your inbox? None other than Supreme Gallic, by far one of the best attack legendaries in Raid Shadow Legends. And also, don't be afraid to drop by my new partnered Raid YouTube channel, say hello and subscribe, because I'm going to keep you guys updated about my journey in Raid Shadow Legends. So be sure to check out all my videos on my channel called Night Wanderer. And don't forget to join my clan in Raid Shadow Legends so we can tackle the bosses together. Follow that link in the description below or scan that QR code on the screen, and hope to see you guys there. So yeah, I've got to ask, for those of you that are on the public test server, what do you think of it so far? What do you think needs to be changed? And what are you loving? Sound off in the comments down below. But we do have this critical feedback about the prestige system that's coming up here in Update 7. Check it out right here. Please don't reset perks on prestige PTS feedback. Goes on to say, just for context, it was confirmed by Missolf on Discord that the perks on each class are going to reset along with the level each time you prestige. Creating this post for visibility, since I genuinely think that completely resetting perks every time you prestige is not a very good idea, as it is a very archaic kind of system that feels closer to a chore than actual progression. My suggestion is to make it so that while your level drops back to 1 on prestige, your perks remain unlocked so that you can keep playing the game on the highest difficulties if you want to. Similar to how DRG handles promotions, if necessary, implement some kind of resource sync instead. Similar to how DRG handles promotions, if necessary, implement some kind of resource sync instead. This way, people can choose whatever builds and difficulties they want to without having to go through the hassle of unlocking everything over and over multiple times, and the experience gain on Lethal Absolute actually makes sense. The incentive to grind is already there. It's the new cosmetics, and in some cases, LOL, the prestige perks. Resetting perks just makes it more of a hassle to play. And if you'd like to chime in, yes, there is a discussion out on the PTS feedback forum, which, by the way, out on Discord, there was kind of a response from the dev team just saying, very interesting feedback. So they have seen this specific thread, this feedback right here, and it seems like they are very, very aware that overall the community does not want all of their perks reset. Yes, they don't mind going back down to level 1. It seems it's just the resetting the perk type stuff is just a hassle, because you would expect, of course, to go back down to level 1 with a prestige system. That's going to happen. There's also another problem though with the prestige system. A lot of you guys are just not overall very impressed with the actual perks being offered by that prestige system, and that is a problem when you don't feel like you're being rewarded. And I feel like they need like actual abilities tied to the prestige system, something new, that you get that feels absolutely major. So yeah, I wish they would have something like that. However, the good news is we do have some very, very cool cosmetic rewards right here. So check it out. All the war gear that are supposedly, from the prestige ranks. And check this out. This looks pretty badass. Remember, things are subject to change. And this gives us a real reason, in my opinion, to go through that prestige system, especially the studded pauldrons right here. That looks really, really cool. And then, of course, we have some cool options here as well. And then, yeah, this looks very, very cool. This is the type of stuff that I love to see. And we got the Omni Scrambler, for example. And look at this shield. The Storm Shield looks absolutely badass. A lot of people are celebrating this one also out on the subreddit. And this is a very cool cape. As you can notice, something different about this cape is, yes, you can actually see your shoulder pauldrons, which is very, very important. And then, of course, we have the Iron Halo, which a lot of you guys also wanted to see some updates with that one. But yeah, you know, some very cool rewards at the very least. I know that some of the perks are lackluster when you do rank up, and I do hope that the devs take some feedback in that regard, and perhaps down the road we see some new improvements to the prestige system itself. I really do think that that would be wise. But yeah, we'll see if they fine-tune the prestige system for update 7 or just keep it as it is. I have a feeling that's going to be kept as is. Now, there was a question from the Focus community managers out on Discord. Check it out right here. It says, so would you prefer being sent back to level 1 with your perks already unlocked? So again, they are definitely looking into this. It's something they are being mindful of, and this is why we have a PTS. You know, they want you guys to give your feedback right now before they implement the changes firmly into update 7. Also, this was a question here and a concern. Will Prestige reset weapons as well, or just class level and perks? And the response is only class. Thank God, because that would be an absolute nightmare if it reset the perks on the weapons, which I don't see why it would ever do that. But also we have this as well, a question that says this. Actually, please confirm, say I already grinded all 4 prestiges and say I want to change one of them. Do I have to reset to level 1 again and grind it, or do you lose 900 currency? And the response is this right here. Just pay 900 currency. Once you've unlocked the 4 prestige perks, you're locked to level 25, which I think is a wise choice. It definitely alleviates the pain of having to go through all of that again. Now, what about the actual update 7, patch 7? When can we expect that? Unfortunately, we have this news right here. No ETA yet. I was hoping they would have at least some sort of release date window for us at this time, but it seems like they really are going to take that feedback and implement it into the development process and try this out and see how this works with the PTS and how long it takes for them to actually start implementing those changes. But what about the future of Space Marine 2 beyond update 7? Check it out right here. I'm curious to know what you guys expect to read in the next community update. Great question there. And we got a response to the Focus community team saying perhaps a peek of what's to come as the past comes to an end. And the response from Focus, who says, that's something I'll talk about for sure. And this is something that I was wondering, you know, as the season pass winds down, as essentially like year 1 comes to a close, what to expect next. So I really do hope they start talking about that sort of stuff, simply because they did announce that they are going to be working on Space Marine 3 eventually here. At least they're in the conceptual stages, I believe. Now, speaking about that, a lot of people were really, really concerned. Yes, I cannot wait for Space Marine 3. However, I really want to see them essentially double down on Space Marine 2 and perhaps even provide more content, more operations. Can't wait for the Horde mode, by the way, but I do not want them abandoning Space Marine 2. And I know for a fact a lot of you guys feel the same way. So with that being said, they posted this out on the Discord saying, we'll share updates on the new title when the time is right. For now, our focus remains on delivering the best possible content for Space Marine 2 players. We're not dropping Space Marine 2, which is really, really good news. Now, that's not to say they're going to triple down on Space Marine 2, go absolutely crazy with the content in year 2. Will we see the same release schedule that we've gotten now? Probably. I really do wish that we would hear news that, hey, things are going to change, that they're going to double down on content. That would be really, really cool. But right now, I think a lot of you guys feel like things are being drip fed, you know, even with the new operation that's coming out. You guys want more, you know, and I don't blame you because it's such a damn good game. And also, you know, more classes, that sort of thing. We'll see what happens in year 2. But also, I will admit, very curious about Space Marine 3. But there's another post as well that said that it is years and years away. And there was also a little, I guess you would call it like announcement trailer for Space Marine 3, where it was just like Titus in the rain, and that's pretty much it. And they said by no means is this a reveal trailer at all, that they're not even close to that stage of the game. In fact, I would consider what they're doing right now with Space Marine 3 behind the scenes very much conceptualizing the game. I bet they probably are still writing the script for the campaign, that sort of thing, and trying to figure out what the actual focus of the game will be, which I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's going to be Necrons. I'm just going to say it was obviously teased in the end of Space Marine 2 campaign. There's another question about the Inferno pistol that you guys would like to see that playable on other classes. Check it out right here. Any chance you plan to put the Inferno pistol on Assault, given that it is iconic to the Blood Angels chapter and the Assault Marines in general? And the response was basically, it's not planned at this time, but maybe in the future. So that's all we know about that one. So don't hold your breath too much, but hey, we've seen them lift weapon restrictions. Honestly, I would love to see the Inferno pistol on, of course, the tactical. But then again, from what I personally played with the Inferno pistol, it's definitely not going to be my go-to weapon. Of course, it's going to be for those smaller Minoris enemies, and it really doesn't help out with the bigger, like, Majoris enemies and that sort of thing. But it is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong with the hordes and things like that. And I imagine that might actually be useful for horde mode. But yeah, when it comes to new weapons, again, I want new melee weapons anyway. So that's what I'm all about currently. Now, also, there were some requests out on the subreddit. Check it out. Kind of wish these little chest shields had customized emblem options. And he gave an example here, and it seems like a lot of you guys want to be able to fully customize those a bit more as well. A response here saying, I agree, that would be very cool. And yeah, totally agree with the community on that one. Having further customization options would be very, very cool. Mentioning that, check it out. It says some Blood Angel successors I dug from PTS, and these look really, really cool. Look how sharp this armor looks. And if we keep going here, I love the studded pauldrons. Let me tell you what, that is absolutely badass, by the way. This color combination, I really dig it as well. And let me know which one is your favorite. Of course, look at this, dude. Let me tell you what, Assault players will be very happy with some of these cosmetics as well. Just looks very, very badass. Let me tell you what, the cosmetics are pretty much endless on what they could actually add here to the game, of course. And it seems like they plan on just keep going until there's an entire library of options here for cosmetics. But anyway, yeah, some really cool stuff going on around that one. Now, also, we have your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video, so be sure to leave a comment down below. And we got the first top comment here, which was quoting me. It says it kind of has a Viking feel to it. And I was speaking about, of course, the Space Wolves customization coming for Vanguard. And it says, laughing my ass off, bro, I got news for you. So two things. First of all, it was I think it was 4 a.m. in the morning. I got zero sleep on that video. You guys are lucky that video even was released in the state it was released. But anyway, yeah, I'm always still learning the Warhammer franchise, of course. You guys know I cover a wide variety of franchises. I'm still covering Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 behind the scenes right now, by the way. I am playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. And then I have the new partner channel that I'm working on as well. So there's several things that I'm doing, but I'm always loving to learn about the Warhammer franchise. One way that I've learned about it is you guys telling me new things, and I really wish and hope to dive into the lore even more, of course, especially when it comes to the Space Wolf stuff. I do want to dive more into that, but aesthetically, I love the look of the Space Wolves. That's kind of what I was saying there. But anyway, moving on here, we have looks awesome, but I still don't understand why champion skins can't be split into customizable parts. Yeah, I agree. It would be very, very cool. And then we have, I am super stoked for the Space Wolves armor. I also wish we'd have gotten more fur option pieces, but maybe that is something for future updates after the other chapters get their turn. A Space Wolves power pack would be awesome for all classes. Hell yes. I feel like my tactical needs some furs when it comes to the Space Wolves, for sure. I mean, tactical is my go-to after all this time. I can't believe how much I still love tactical. We also have, with the announcement of Space Marine 3 now beginning development, I hope that they release some operations that lead into the next game, preferably a lot. That'd be neat if they had some teases. Maybe they'll do that, but then again, I really do think when it comes to things like Necron specifically, I think that if they do any type of teases that you're speaking about, it would be Easter eggs, you know, towards Space Marine 3. They probably really want to reserve the core gameplay experience of facing off against Necrons to Space Marine 3, you know? All right, and we also have this one. I just bought the game a couple of hours ago. Damn, nice. Welcome aboard to the community. Hell yes, that's awesome to see. Just got past the second mission and already having a blast. Can't wait to finish the campaign so I could try out this new update. Dude, you are going to be in for it, the time of your life with that campaign. So it's awesome to see, you know, like newcomers to the Space Marine 2 game itself. And I don't know if he's brand new to like the Warhammer franchise or not. But there's a lot of new people to the Warhammer franchise as well, which is really, really cool. And then you can imagine what's going to happen when like the Amazon TV series releases. I'm also extremely curious, by the way, about what happens to Space Marine 2 during the release of the Amazon TV series. I think you're going to see a massive resurgence of users on this game, and that's why they have decided to offer so many free operations. Because just imagine being, you know, a gamer and you've never played Space Marine 2 at all. Sit down, you watch the Warhammer TV series, you're like, hey, this is actually badass. Maybe I'll give Space Marine 2 a try. Then they've added a bunch of new operations, a horde mode, a ton of, you know, new weapons, whatever. It's going to be a completely different game. I'm crossing my fingers by the time the Amazon TV series releases. And I think that's what Focus and Saber are looking to do with this game currently. But anyway, there it is, the latest happenings around Space Marine 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more news and updates. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.